Welcome to the Sparkit podcast with me, Hellen Kimaru, and Patrick CJ, as he likes to call himself. And on today's topic, we will be diving into the topic of finding your purpose. Is it a journey or a destination? So, yeah, Patrick, welcome to the podcast. How do you feel today?
I feel very good, Kimaru baby.
Are you excited about this topic?
Oh yeah, I honestly I think I am, and at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, I definitely do not know like if it is something that we can cover
Uh-huh.
in like a couple of minutes because I feel like it's a huge topic that would take so
Mm-hmm.
much time to like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
completely dissect it.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is purpose according to you?
Mm. I mean, it's so one thing I would start with is that purpose is definitely a journey rather
Mm-hmm.
than just some destination that we are going like or heading to or going to reach
Mm-hmm.
someday. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that definitely we do not just find one day. For me, I think purpose is something that grows as we grow.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
now I look at purpose more from the perspective of my faith as an
Okay.
Adventist. I know
Mm-hmm.
like some people link purpose, for example, to maybe culture,
Mm-hmm.
maybe to their life experiences or maybe their choices and things like that. I
Mm-hmm.
think there are others too that maybe are born with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I could say Jesus Christ.
Okay. Oh yeah, sure. If you say that, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I
Mm-hmm.
think from the perspective of my
Mm-hmm.
faith as an Adventist teaches me that my purpose is to serve God.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my purpose is to serve others,
Mm-hmm.
and it's to help make the world honestly a better place. And so for me,
Okay.
purpose is that
Uh-huh.
is being able to serve
Uh-huh.
God, to serve
Mm-hmm.
others, and to in one way or the other make the world better than I found it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
I think you kind of almost answered the question of because what I wanted us to cover today is whether something like if have you found your purpose? Is purpose something you're born with, or is it something like you kind of grow into? Something like that.
right.
Yeah, and definitely talk about if we have found our purpose. So you've mentioned Jesus. I think yes, for sure for him his purpose was just one. Come save the human race. Yeah, makes a
Yeah,
lot of sense.
yeah.
So, oh, interesting. I like your definition of purpose actually. So, do you think you have found your purpose?
I would think yeah. And again, really, so this is a very relative thing. When we talk about
Mm-hmm.
purpose, is very
Mm-hmm.
relative because
Okay.
it definitely what purpose looks like for me
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
might not be what it looks like for you or maybe the
Mm-hmm.
other person listening to
Okay.
us or watching
Mm-hmm.
us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, for me, it's about serving God. Um, serving God, serving others, and making the world a better place. And
Yeah.
so for me, I feel like I have been able to find that,
Mm-hmm.
at least from a little bit earlier, I would say, part of my life. Because
Mm-hmm.
so I became an Adventist, I
Mm-hmm.
think probably when I was maybe 12 or maybe
Oh
13.
wow.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was when
Mm-hmm.
I got baptized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think since then
Mm-hmm.
I have had an incredible experience of being able to commit my life to service, service to
Mm-hmm.
God, and service to others, but also service to myself.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I believe like taking care of myself is also part of my
Mhm.
purpose.
It's fun. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I've had the pleasure of basically, like, for example, being able to go out to preach to people the gospel of Jesus Christ, but at the same time being able to uh, set up an organization and different other initiatives that are
Mhm,
helping
mhm,
people making
mhm,
their lives better every day
mhm,
in so many other
mhm,
ways, whether it being Sesi Uganda, whether it being Jebs to Apply, whether it being
mhm,
Wani, and another initiative
mhm,
that we are currently building. It's helping
mhm,
change lives,
mhm,
and I think for me, it's serving it's serving my purpose or what I am meant to do in this world.
mhm, mhm.
And yeah, I hope it is helping me make a difference because I feel it is.
Uh-huh. So, according to you, purpose is something that should help you like make a difference, and it should serve you, serve other people, and serve God.
That is what I see purpose as. And
Okay.
this is really mostly from a very Christian understanding, right?
Mm-hmm,
And which
mm-hmm,
was why I said this is a very relative thing. It will definitely, not just probable, it will differ a
mm-hmm.
lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
From person to person or community to community. But
mm-hmm,
I think from a Christian perspective, most people will agree with me that
mm-hmm,
our purpose of being here is to
mm-hmm,
serve God, to
mm-hmm,
serve others,
mm-hmm,
and to make the world a better place.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting. You've mentioned some of the things you're doing. In another episode, we talked about Ceci and the
yeah,
work you're doing to help communities in Uganda,
yeah,
the host communities and refugee communities.
yeah.
Definitely, we need to cover that. So, for anyone who has not listened to that episode, maybe they should go back and get to hear your inspiring story. You've also mentioned that there's these other initiatives you're working on, like Wani and Jobs to Apply, that you feel are part of your purpose. Could you tell us a little bit about those two and what exactly you are doing and how many people you are serving?
Well, so with Wani is basically a hiring platform that is built for non-profit organizations that are looking to hire people that have the passion for their mission and impact. And it's also for people who are interested in nonprofits, people who are very passionate about nonprofits and the work nonprofits do, to find these organizations and be able to work with them. And so, in a nutshell, what we do at Jobs to Apply is connecting passion with mission.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah, so we are basically allowing these organizations to be able to find people that have the passion to accelerate their own missions. And this
mm-hmm,
means sharing jobs or hiring people within on our platform, and
mm-hmm,
very many other things, honestly, to helping people maybe write their resumes and cover letters so they
mm-hmm.
can stand out when they apply for a
Okay.
job and something like that.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, and with Wani, honestly, our goal is to help non-profit organizations and the individuals and businesses
mm-hmm,
to be able
mm-hmm,
to build an online
mm-hmm,
presence
mm-hmm,
that allows them to one, uh, make money, two,
mm-hmm,
attract the funding and support they need, could be from
mm-hmm,
their supporters or
mm-hmm.
donors or any other person that might be interested in supporting their work, especially for nonprofit organizations, but also to advance advocacy for organizations and individuals that
Mhm, mhm,
are working towards, for example, raising awareness about things that affect our communities. Could be maybe climate change, refugees, and very many other things of interest. So, yeah, with one year, we are helping these organizations build websites within their
Mm-hmm.
budgets.
Yeah.
And with Jobs to Apply, helping these organizations hire people who are talented, qualified, but who have the
Mm-hmm.
passion. Because one
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
important thing I have learned from working with non
Mm-hmm.
governmental organizations
Yeah.
is sometimes the degree or the skills the person brings is not enough. You
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
need people that have the passion for the work because
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
can
That's true.
be a little bit bumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. I think you forgot to mention how big Jobs to Apply as as a platform is.
Honestly, I think
Uh-huh.
as of January, we were serving over 45,000 people every day,
Oh wow.
and right
Hmm.
now it
Interesting.
has probably
Uh-huh.
gone way over by
Wow.
maybe 20,000 more or 30,000 more because we haven't yet done the statistics. We do
Mm-hmm.
it quarterly. So I think
Mm-hmm.
once it is done, we'll be able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right
Mm-hmm.
now, we are serving
Mm-hmm.
over 45,000 people every single day. And people
Wow.
who go to
And
our website, we receive
uh-huh.
insane number
Uh-huh.
of
The
visits
traffic
every
is
month.
so high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Like in a month, we receive over 91,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, visits on
That's
our
a
website.
lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
every single month over that.
Oh
It's
wow.
insane.
Yeah, I think literally you're going to be a leading platform. And also to mention that this platform was launched, I think, in June
Yeah,
of 2024.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's not even 1 year old, but the impact has
No,
been impressive and the numbers and people looking for opportunities, the fact that they trust your platform and that's a really good purpose.
I know. And honestly, as long
Uh-huh.
as it's helping someone's life improve, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's worth
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's worth
Mm-hmm.
it because honestly, we started Jobs to Apply with my colleague
Mm-hmm.
Isaac
Mm-hmm.
when we had so much on our plate
Mm-hmm.
already going on
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with school, with organizations, and very many other
Yeah.
things that we are working
Mm-hmm.
on, like personal projects.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so to be able to still find tiny time for Jobs to Apply and to see what it has become from what
Mm-hmm.
it was like a couple of months ago to now is quite
Yeah.
impressive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh
honestly,
wow.
this is probably something that I don't know if Isaac, our CEO, allows me to
Mm-hmm.
share this.
Uh-huh.
But I feel it's probably not too bad. But what we
Mm-hmm.
invested into
Mm-hmm.
Jobs to Apply to build
Mm-hmm.
it, uh,
Mm-hmm.
when we were working on it, our projection was that it would take us probably a
Mm-hmm.
year or two for us
Mm-hmm.
to break even, as
Mm-hmm.
in, the costs, what we spent
Yeah.
versus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, though, we were
Mm-hmm.
able to break even within
Mm-hmm.
7 months or 6 months of launching the
Wow.
platform.
That's impressive. Good job.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
That's really honestly, you guys are doing an amazing job. I see
Yeah.
how many followers you have on LinkedIn. I think I checked today, must be like 61,000 plus followers on LinkedIn and a
Yeah.
lot of subscribers for your newsletters.
Yeah.
It's really impressive as a person who receives your newsletters every time you post. Right in my DMs,
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're doing amazing,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's a really good way to sort of find your purpose. Could we, from your personal experience with jobs to apply and Wani, could we say that maybe sometimes when we pursue our passions, we end up finding our purpose? Is it okay to assume that?
Uh, could you say that again? I think I didn't catch it.
I was saying,
Yes.
is it okay from that story you've just told us? Is it okay to assume that sometimes when we pursue the things we are passionate about, we end up finding our purpose?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. In fact, I totally agree. Uh, yeah, with the claim you make. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow,
I think
interesting.
we can
Mm-hmm.
see those examples all over us.
Mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm.
all around us, we can see those
Yeah.
examples of basically
Mm-hmm,
people finding their purpose from following their passion.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Talk about football, for example, right?
Yeah.
We
Mm-hmm,
we have people that basically, play soccer or football, and
mm-hmm,
they discover, like, what, that is what they're good at, and
mm-hmm,
something
mm-hmm,
that they see as maybe their purpose is helping others rediscover or
mm-hmm,
develop that talent.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
it becomes not just about playing soccer, it also
Yeah.
becomes about helping develop the talent of others and helping them become better versions of themselves.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sort of like inspire them.
I know. Yeah,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm. Oh.
And probably if they hadn't pursued that path, they probably wouldn't have like gotten to that point where they're like, you know what, I actually need to support others as well. Yeah, because there's
Mm-hmm,
something
mm-hmm,
special about, I don't know, a hands-on experience of doing something.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, that
mm-hmm,
is just
mm-hmm,
different. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Interesting. Hmm.
yeah.
Oh wow. Do you
Let
I
me
am
tell
so
you
happy to
this.
hear that you uh-huh.
So
Mm.
in high school,
Mm-hmm.
my teacher
Mm-hmm.
used to come to class and
Okay.
tell us this, and this has never been true than today and so forth. He kept coming to class and saying, because I probably shouldn't generalize everyone, but
Hmm. That's
it,
what he would say.
no, that is not what he would say.
Okay.
But I don't want to generalize it for everyone who was in my
Just
class.
okay. Deliver it the way you received it. In your own perspective.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we were a
Mm-hmm.
class of students who were really hard to deal with sometimes. At least a
Okay.
lot of us were a little bit hard to deal
Mm-hmm.
with. And so he would
Mm-hmm.
come to class and says, if you guys don't want to
Mm-hmm.
learn right now in class,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
world will teach you.
Ooh. Yes. True. In
You
Kenya
will
we
learn
say
from
in
the experience.
Kiswahili, yeah, utafunzwa na ulimwengu.
Yeah?
Yes. They say asiyefunzwa na mamaye hufunzwa na ulimwengu.
Hmm.
Directly translated to he who is not taught by the mother will be taught by the world.
I couldn't agree more.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so the teacher would say that and then.
Yeah, he would say that because as a way to we we were not a lot of time paying attention, you know,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
when he's in
Yeah.
class and things like that. But
Mm-hmm,
as I grew
mm-hmm,
and got to learn more and to understand what was going on around me,
mm-hmm,
and like also
mm-hmm.
reflect on my own journey and what I would want to my life to be about and things like that,
Mm. Mhm,
I got
mhm,
to see he was so right. He
mhm,
was
mhm, mhm.
absolutely right.
And you actually bring a really good point. Like when finding your purpose, part of it is reflecting about like those things, the choices you make, and Hmm.
Yeah.
So you are reflecting and thinking, what is this thing I wanna do? Have you ever thought about like your legacy? Is that something that bothers you? Because I feel like legacy can also be tied to purpose. Have you ever thought about like what is this kind of legacy that I would want to leave behind?
Honestly, not exactly in the sense of legacy.
Mm-hmm.
No, I
Mm-hmm.
haven't thought about it that way. But
Mm-hmm.
what I have always thought is that one, I I want to be able to live a life of service.
Mm.
A life of service
Mm-hmm.
to God. I am a
Okay.
believer, so I believe in
Mm-hmm.
God. I believe in faith.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to live a life of service to others in
Mm-hmm.
my community and so forth, and
Mm-hmm.
to help basically just make the world a little bit better than I found it. For me,
Okay.
that is
Mm-hmm.
what I think about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
every day I'm thinking of ways I could help advance that. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it's not like always easy, right? It's not always
Mm-hmm.
that. So sometimes there are some shortcomings and difficulties, but
Yeah.
I think I know what I want to live in terms of the kind of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
yeah,
Wow. Hey. So if somebody is trying to sort of find their purpose, you would probably tell them the best thing to do is to what? Like what should they think about? Should they think about what they are passionate about? Do they need to reflect on what they want their future to look like, or what they want people to associate them with? Or what would you advise somebody who is feeling like, oh, I have not found my purpose? Because I have found people, I've talked to people about purpose, by the way, and you ask people whether have they found their purpose, and sometimes people struggle to actually sort of like, you see the way you've pinned down your purpose to
yeah.
service, whether it's serving God or serving humanity. There's some people who struggle with sort of identifying exactly what their purpose is. What would you tell somebody who is struggling to find their purpose?
What
Mm-hmm.
I would say is that it's totally fine to be in such a
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really fine. For me,
Mm-hmm.
purpose is not about having all the answers.
Oh,
No,
good.
it's
Yeah,
about
true.
paying attention to what excites you,
Mm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
and where you want to make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that is the most important thing. It's not about,
Mm.
you know, having all the answers and ticking all
Uh-huh.
the
Uh-huh.
boxes.
Ah.
Because honestly,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's hard to find answers to everything. I
That's
have
true.
so many questions that unanswered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if I am to wait on answers to those
Mm-hmm.
questions, I wouldn't do
Mm-hmm.
anything.
That's true.
Yeah. Like,
Mhm,
you wouldn't
mhm,
do anything. Meaning of life, for
mhm,
example,
mhm, mhm,
it's a huge question that
mhm.
can be a huge determinant of purpose.
Yeah,
It's hard to find an answer to that.
that's true. Actually, yeah. Mhm, mhm.
So I think for me, really, finding purpose is not just, you don't need to know all the answers. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pay
Mhm, mhm.
attention. What excites you? Where do you want to
Mm.
make the difference?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, it's totally fine. And honestly, like, Another thing is
Mhm.
no purpose is small.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like literally, no purpose is
Wow.
small.
Mhm.
Like whether you are helping
Interesting.
one person or you're helping
Mhm.
many, your
Mhm.
purpose matters. In my opinion, it does.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be this huge thing. For example, maybe someone would be like, oh,
Mhm.
Patrick has a non governmental organization that is helping thousands of people. My
Yeah.
purpose has to be something that does that. No,
Mm. Mhm.
no. Your purpose could be helping just the
Mhm.
one person, could be
Mhm.
helping
Mhm.
someone actually in your household, in your family,
Mhm.
could be
Yeah.
your purpose, or could be
Mhm.
helping
Mhm.
a neighbor or
Mhm.
a child in school maybe
Mhm.
become better in handling their homework because you never know, right?
Mhm.
What you do now,
Yeah.
what it will result in the future.
That's true.
Yeah. Like you can never tell. And so
Mhm.
purpose is
Mhm.
not, no purpose is small.
Yeah. I think that's actually very encouraging. Yeah, for people who might be thinking like it has to be grand. Yeah, grand actions,
No,
grand
no.
impact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be that way. Yeah. I mean
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
really do understand that things like passion, experience,
Mm.
even our faith and service all play a
Mm-hmm.
role, you know, sometimes in
Yeah.
helping us find our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we go through a really bad experience, and that
Mm-hmm.
experience becomes the
Mm-hmm.
bedrock for our purpose.
Yeah.
Terry Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
So
who used to do, is it the person who used to do bodybuilding or it's not that one?
uh, he he was a cancer patient.
Ah, maybe I don't know that one.
He
It's another
basically
Terry I know.
one of the leg was like uh,
Mm-hmm.
he's Canadian. He ran like
Mm-hmm.
a I don't know, is it called a marathon or something? But like running across country to raise funds
Yeah.
for
Mm-hmm.
people with cancer and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that that purpose was from his experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for that, it wouldn't. And I think you could think about also families. They go
Mm.
through a very traumatic experience and they
Yeah.
end up maybe starting a
Mhm.
foundation or maybe a
Mm.
fund to help
Mhm.
some other people who are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
So like when you look at all these things around us, you see that
Mhm.
experiences actually do play a huge role.
Mm.
Yeah. And some
Oh,
people,
wow.
why I was saying that it's really good
Uh-huh.
it's good for people to
Mhm.
be in that stage where they're asking questions. It's a
Mhm.
stage
Mhm.
that never stops. I still have questions I ask.
Mhm.
I believe I
Mhm.
have found my purpose,
Mhm.
but I still have questions. And I think it's
Mhm. Mhm.
okay for people to be in there, because there are people that have found their purpose through like inquiry, like being able to reflect on all these questions and so forth, and then
Mhm. Mhm.
discovering
Mhm.
suddenly answers to those. And I think that is how science
Mm.
functions.
That's true.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. At the end of the day, you find, oh,
Uh-huh. Yeah, like yeah, we discovered. Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, but I think the point I want to make is that
Mhm.
no one wakes up one day in the morning knowing their
Mhm.
purpose. At least from
Mhm.
my own experience,
Mhm.
I didn't wake up one morning and I knew instantly or
Yeah.
instinctively what my purpose
Mhm.
is. No.
Mm.
Yeah. I had to try, fail, learn, and grow,
Mhm, mhm,
like
mhm.
literally along the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like I
Uh-huh.
as a Christian, I
Mhm,
have been in and out of the church so many times.
mhm,
But one thing I know deep down that never goes away
mhm,
is that deep, deep motivation, that deep, deep. Um, I even don't know how to explain it. It's like a passion, a burning fire deep
mhm.
inside that wants to serve
Uh-huh,
God, to serve
uh-huh.
others.
Mhm,
It never goes away.
mhm.
Yeah. And so these
Stuck
days
with
when
you.
I do that, I
Mhm,
I make sure that whatever I am doing is
mhm.
contributing in one way or the other towards that.
Ah,
Hmm.
that makes sense.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever Do you think you've ever felt at some point like you've lost track of your purpose? Or maybe you feel like you're stagnated
Yeah.
at some point and you feel like you're not living your purpose or maybe achieving the things you need to achieve towards your purpose? Have you ever had that feeling?
Uh, so before I answer that question, something that I
Mm-hmm.
thought would be very helpful um,
Mm-hmm.
for people who are in the verge of discovering their purpose is to ask
Mm-hmm.
themselves some questions. Like, for
Okay.
example, what problems in the world like make you want to take an action?
Ah, interesting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like there's definitely always that one pain point for us that
Mm-hmm.
we really
Mm-hmm.
feel like, I wish this issue could be addressed.
Yeah.
Something that you're really passionate about that you think should be addressed, but for some reason, maybe it's not being
Mm-hmm.
addressed. Or maybe the
Yeah.
way it's being addressed now, you see it's not the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, or you could ask yourself, what do people always like when they come to you, ask for your advice on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because some people
Mm-hmm.
some people are again going back to the point that others are born with their purpose.
Yeah. Maybe you have the answers that people need, so that becomes your purpose to help people solve their problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
some people go to school, most people
Mm-hmm.
go to school
Mm-hmm.
to become
Mm-hmm.
counselors.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, most people go to school. But there's some people who are just good
Yes.
at actually helping you manage or overcome
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're going through way better
Yeah.
than counselors.
Sounds like my friend.
They're not trained.
They ask the difficult questions and then they leave you thinking like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think like if you can figure that out, sometimes it can help
Mm-hmm.
you. Yeah, in moving towards
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
understanding what your purpose is.
Yeah.
And another that is perhaps really a good question to ask is,
Mm-hmm.
what makes you lose track of time when you do
Mm-hmm.
it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If there is
Ah.
someone that has really, I would say, drilled drilled
Mhm,
this concept into my brain. It's
mhm,
one of my professors.
mhm,
Sometimes you have to find out what is that one thing that
mhm.
you can do effortlessly.
Yes, yes, I agree.
Yeah,
Mhm,
like effortlessly.
mhm.
No one has to tell you. Like what
It
to do,
comes
how to do it
naturally.
for how long. You know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
instinctively love to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need an
Yeah,
external motivation.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the motivation is in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, when you get to that point,
Mm-hmm.
you have your purpose already.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, because for me, if you had asked me what my purpose would be, I would say it could be like that thing that sets my heart on fire. I just want to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
Wow. Mm-hmm.
this is controversial.
Okay.
Uh,
The disclaimers you're giving today. We are listening. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
because some people will disagree with it, right? Depending on where
Okay,
they're
okay.
coming from. But
Mm-hmm.
for some people,
Mm-hmm.
they actually discover their purpose from an early stage. And
Yes.
that thing could be, for example, gaming. Now, why I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
it's controversial. Parents, parents might have a different plan for you, you know?
Ah, we want you to become a doctor.
Exactly.
Mm.
And I don't think there's no one parent who is comfortable with you just sitting, 10
Mm-hmm.
hours or something playing games and so forth.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
But there are people that actually find that very fulfilling.
Very.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And through doing that, they're also helping put smiles on other people's faces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, which is why for me,
Interesting.
I feel like, no one purpose is
Mm-hmm.
small.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no purpose is of more value than the other.
Mm-hmm.
No, purpose is
That's true.
purpose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. You just find which works for you and run with
exactly.
it. Oh wow. Ah, that's very it's very good insights actually.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. I asked you a question. Have you? Okay, I asked you a question before, and then you took us back to that.
Yeah.
The question was whether you've ever, like, have you ever felt like you've sort of stagnated in your purpose, or you're not making any progress, or even like you've lost your purpose at some point, or for you it has just been clear like day and night. Mhm.
Okay. So today I'm sharing a lot of what I believe in.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. The platform is all yours. Uh-huh.
For me,
Mhm.
I do
Mhm.
think that purpose is not fixed.
Mhm. Ah.
It
Mhm.
grows as you grow.
Mhm. Mhm.
For me, that's how I look at it. It's
Mhm.
not it's not constant.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Um the, it's not like change, Change, we know change is constant.
Uh-huh.
You
Uh-huh.
like it,
Uh-huh.
you don't like it, it will change you.
Yeah.
So,
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
but I think purpose is not that way.
Mhm. Mhm.
It grows, it evolves as you also evolve as a person.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um so when I was younger,
Mhm.
as a kids, they'll be asking like,
Mhm.
yo, what do you want to be when you grow up? And things like that.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always been, oh, I want to be a lawyer.
Mhm.
And I remember bringing this up last
Yeah.
time.
True. 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 Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. And it was also hugely influenced
Mhm.
by who I had around me.
Mhm.
I had a relative, a brother, who was a lawyer.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so for him, that is supposed to be the path for me too.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. And as a kid, I never took it serious, right? Like not
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
But when I when we lost him, he got murdered.
Oh
Um,
no. Sorry to hear.
yeah,
Mhm.
when we lost him,
Mhm.
oh, that flame became
Ah,
even
it was
more
ignited.
stronger.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
became
Mhm.
super strong, especially
Mhm.
like he going through what he did and
Mhm.
no justice done.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh
Just
no.
murder, cold blood, no
Mhm.
justice done. No one wrote
Mhm.
a book.
Mhm.
I think for me,
Mhm.
it became very clear then that
Mhm.
this was really something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, it's still something I want to do.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, one day I'm going to do that. I already have plans for that.
Hello? You're going to do no?
I have plans to do that already.
Oh wow. Interesting. Uh-huh.
But yeah, but I think the point
Mhm.
is that as I became a refugee,
Mhm.
it became a little bit different, right? Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
I got more like, you know what? I actually found a lot more fulfillment in serving others.
Mhm. Mm. Okay.
Yeah, in serving persons that are going through really difficult stuff,
Mhm.
helping them improve their lives and being able to see the change you're making.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
I think it's like so heartwarming, like it warms my heart.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and I think for me that shows how my purpose kept evolving, because I think as a
Mhm.
child I thought
Yeah.
it was about
Mhm.
helping others find justice. I still have that in
Mhm.
mind. I haven't
Yeah.
lost it. But I think I have
Mhm.
also integrated other elements.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I do think that yeah, it's definitely not, it's not fixed. And honestly, life changes us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like
That's true.
the challenges we go through
Mhm.
can show you a new path
Mhm.
um that might become your purpose. Maybe something that you've
Okay.
never seen before. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think for me, it was the
Mhm.
case when I became a refugee. It
Mhm.
showed me
Mhm.
something that I would never have seen. Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, like literally. So
Wow. Yeah. From what I'm hearing, it's purpose sometimes does not stay consistent. It can change. You can outgrow. Maybe you are living a certain purpose right now. You outgrow it after some time, depending also on the experiences you go through in life. Like for you, you always wanted to be a lawyer, and then at some point, displacement gave you a new purpose to serve other people, certain organization, and do all that you do with Ceci. So I guess the word of encouragement here is that it can evolve.
oh
I've
yeah.
ever gone through an experience where I thought that I had found my purpose. This is it. This is exactly what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. And when that thing stopped, like the wheel stopped turning, I got stuck, and now I felt like, it's like I'm just there. I don't know what exactly to do next. And it did feel so bad actually. So that's why I was asking that question about
Honestly,
whether it changes. Mm-hmm.
right, right. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I feel that
Mm-hmm.
purpose does change.
Mm-hmm.
It does change because our skills, our interests, and opportunities
Mm.
change.
True.
Yeah. when those things
Mhm.
change, at least
Mhm.
for me, I feel like when they did, my
Mhm.
purpose also changed.
Mhm.
And actually, now that you've said
Mhm.
now that you've said how you had a very strong like a sense of purpose for something,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
eventually
Mhm.
it went. Uh,
Yeah.
for me,
Uh-huh.
this is what I think
Mhm.
about,
Mhm.
and I'm going to use this analogy because I come from a family of farmers. We farm a lot.
Mhm.
We have a lot of trees at
Okay.
home and things like that, fruits. Um, I feel like purpose is
Mhm.
like a tree, could be a
Mhm.
fruit or whatever, but
Mhm.
it's maybe like a tree.
Mhm.
It starts small, very
Mhm.
small,
Mhm.
but it grows. It grows
Mhm.
with the time, with the care, and with the experience.
Mhm.
Yeah. For me, that's how I look at it.
Wow.
So it
Okay.
means that
Uh-huh. You nurture and nourish it.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
It means that
Mhm.
once you've discovered it, it doesn't mean it's
Mhm.
always going to be there if
Mhm.
you do not give it the time, the care, and care to build the
Mm.
experience.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
before you know it, it will start to feel like it's not your purpose again.
That's true.
Yeah. You remember like being able to do something effortlessly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be like a very big indicator. It's like, you're still there. All right. All right. Interesting. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think for me,
Mhm.
I feel like that you should be able to, you should not actually,
Mhm.
you shouldn't be afraid to pivot. Like to pivot
Mhm.
if you
Mhm.
need to.
Mhm.
Yeah. If something no longer feels effortless
Mhm.
to do,
Ah.
or
Uh-huh.
if it no longer feels right,
Mhm.
I feel that it's okay for you to move
Mhm.
in a new direction.
Wow.
Yeah. Like,
That's true.
yeah, because
Mhm.
otherwise what would you be doing there? Because
You're just stuck and stagnating. You'll be like, I lost my purpose, guys. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
yeah. And
Mhm.
and honestly, it can sometimes feel bad, you know?
Yeah, true.
Um
Mm.
when you find yourself in such a situation. But I really do think
Mhm.
you shouldn't.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Like right now, I do not feel bad at all that I haven't
Mhm.
gone to
Mhm.
law school yet.
Mhm. Mhm.
No. I don't feel bad about it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um I feel this is still something I can do. And this is the
Mhm.
beauty of life, honestly. Like as long as you still
Mhm.
have life, the
Mhm.
blessing
Mhm.
of life, you can always do
Yeah,
whatever you want to.
true.
Yeah. So
Wow.
if you really do feel like, it
Mhm.
no longer feels like it,
Mhm.
yeah, you should probably change. you
Interesting.
know.
Wow. Yeah, this goes out to everyone who is feeling like they are stuck in their purpose. It's okay. You can stop right there and find a new purpose because
Absolutely.
it keeps changing and evolving. Wow.
Absolutely. And honestly,
That's
yeah.
mm-hmm. No, continue.
No, I was just saying that
Uh-huh.
when you find yourself,
Mhm.
I feel hesitant to use the word
Mhm.
losing your purpose because I feel like you actually don't lose it.
It's maybe that it's changing
Exactly.
or you're pivoting to something else.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, you've discovered a new path.
Yeah, a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
it's not like you lose it or something. I wouldn't
Mhm.
put
Mhm.
it that way. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think that for me, you shouldn't
Mhm.
be afraid to change course or to
Mm.
try out a new path.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's okay to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. For me, it doesn't mean
Mhm.
like you failed.
Mm.
Yeah. It means you're human. You're human, man.
Yeah, that's true. Now that you've also talked about like being afraid and all that,
Yeah.
to pivot and all that, do you know there are also some people who maybe have a bit of self doubt? Like they know they're supposed to be doing something, but they don't do it because they're feeling like either they're not good enough, or maybe feeling like you gave an example of you doing something big, like you're serving a community in large numbers, and maybe somebody is seated somewhere and they're like, you know what, I would want to do something like something similar to what Patrick does, but now they start doubting their journey. They're like, I don't think I can do it. Or you have those like limiting thoughts and beliefs about your journey. What would you tell such a person? Because I feel like sometimes those are the things that hold us from achieving our purpose, whether big or small.
Absolutely. You know,
Uh-huh.
my experience,
Mm-hmm.
I have felt like I have lost it before, and
Mm,
so many
mm-hmm.
times actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think I kept going back. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there are these cases where I have faced rejection.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and depending on what you're getting the rejection for, oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
it can hurt.
Uh-huh. I know, yeah, rejection is not good. It doesn't come easy.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It hits so hard.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I have faced rejection. I have faced uncertainty where you don't know where
Mm.
the food you're going to eat later in the evening is going
Mm-hmm.
to come from.
Mm-hmm.
I've faced situations where a whole week I'm struggling to find what to eat.
Oh wow.
That kind of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I've also felt like self doubt
Mm-hmm.
so many times. And self
Mm-hmm.
doubt is our biggest enemy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, it's always finding ways to take hold of you
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and, if possible, to even like overpower you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just like you said, you start feeling
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what, maybe you're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe others are bigger. Imposter syndrome start
Mm.
coming in and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But out of all of this,
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I each time found a way to like go back
Mm-hmm.
to asking why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like to I think that sometimes we lose track because
Yeah.
we don't go back to our why very often.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why did
Mm-hmm.
you start? Eh?
Yeah.
Why are you doing what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I think each time I go back to really remind myself of my
Mm-hmm.
why, it keeps me moving because it reminds me of the reason why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Cersei, I felt
Mhm.
so many times where I was like, you know what? All right, this is enough. Done.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then I still go back to my why,
Mhm.
and I find a reason to continue
Mhm.
because my why
Mhm.
reminds me of why I need to continue and why it's important I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, and I remember telling you this,
Mhm.
I think in one of the episodes that we
Mhm.
had,
Mhm.
I think talking to people inspire me.
Mhm. Mhm. That's true.
Um, Whether people who have done more than I have or people who have done way less
Mhm.
than I have
Mhm.
found talking to people really inspirational, like in so
Okay.
many ways.
Mhm.
Mentors, friends, and community. And I can tell you again, like, friends like those of Jackson, those of Romeo,
Mhm.
those of
Mhm.
Barnabas, those of Chal, and very many other guys, honestly, that I've had
Mhm.
the opportunity to work with and collaborate with
Mhm.
and learn from
Mhm. Mhm.
and get challenged by and things like that. I think like those helped me in a way to overcome sometimes the self-doubt.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And I think honestly for someone who's like experiencing something like that, it can be
Mhm.
really nice to do that. Like for me, it
Yeah.
was good.
Mhm.
It it was like the medicine I needed to keep going.
Mhm.
Yeah. And another thing could be taking small steps.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Ah, true. True.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes just like helping one person can remind you
Mhm.
of your bigger purpose.
Mm.
Yeah. It can help
Mhm.
remind
Mhm.
you of the bigger picture of why you're doing what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I would think that if someone can do some of these things, I think it
Mhm.
can be really nice. Like, talking to people, taking small steps, um, going back to asking, your why. I think can really
Mhm.
be super valuable.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
really. Yeah.
Wow. Damn. Interesting. Oh, yes, spitting wisdom. That's very interesting, honestly. Yeah, because I think sometimes people hold themselves back because they don't want to try. Like you're supposed to, maybe you are good at something, you could start a YouTube channel and talk to people about stuff, and you're like, yeah, maybe I'm not good enough. But at least you've demystified that. Start small, talk to people, allow your community to support you in your journey. Yeah, and you can be able to probably overcome stuff like that that holds you back, which is super interesting. So
Absolutely. Actually, if I could
mhm,
say something quick.
okay.
Um, so for me,
Mm-hmm.
what what I see, like feeling self-doubt in what you're doing, or maybe in your purpose, sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's like walking through a dust. I don't know, how do you call like heavy dust?
Heavy dust.
Yes. Because for me, I come
Ah.
from South Sudan. We have dust there.
Oh, really? Oh no.
our
Don't say.
roads our roads are not
Uh-huh.
tarmacked
Mm-hmm.
everywhere.
Oh, makes sense.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
a car is ahead of you and is speeding, you
Kivumbi.
can't see anything.
Ah, oh my God. Uh-huh.
So I don't know how to call, like, that heavy dust where
You have to
basically,
wait for it to settle.
Yeah, I mean like the kind of dust where you are actually
Mm-hmm.
unable to see through.
Mm.
Yeah,
It becomes foggy and it is dust.
exactly. It's like a fog. I think,
Ooh, a fog of dust.
yeah.
Let's call it that. Ooh, they will say dust is constant like the Kalahari. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think self-doubt can feel like walking in a fog.
Mm-hmm. Ah.
Yeah, you may not see the whole road, like literally
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
difficult. And of course,
Uh-huh.
it's a tough place to be in
Mm-hmm.
when you're going
Wow.
somewhere and you can't say
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows
Mm-hmm.
what you'll step on?
That analogy. Uh-huh.
But I think
Mm-hmm.
for me, taking small
Mm-hmm.
steps will lead you forward
Mm-hmm.
through that fog. You
Yes.
know,
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
little bit careful. You probably have seen this in
Mm-hmm.
movies
Mm-hmm.
where people will be going very slowly and they're
Yeah.
holding each
They're
other
trying
and
to
things
figure
like that.
it out. Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
So the good thing is that at least you take the steps forward. You
Yes,
don't just, okay.
small steps, baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're moving. I think there's a guy who said
Uh-huh.
that you should keep moving. If you're not
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
running, you should
Mm-hmm.
be what, walking. If you're not walking, you
Mm-hmm.
should be crawling. And then if you're not crawling, you should do something. There's a
Yeah, just keep moving at the end
yes.
of the day.
The goal is to keep moving.
No, I agree with you honestly. Yeah, I think that's actually very true. When you're finding your purpose or
Mhm,
trying to find it and pursue it, you
mhm,
have to just keep trying until you figure it out. Like there was this video I was watching today of
mhm.
a guy here in Kenya who gives advice on skills that people should actually pursue. And especially, he talks a lot about graphic design, web design, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So he says when he was trying to build his personal brand online, he's also a comedian.
Yeah,
So he thought that he would get numbers and whatever by doing a bit of skits and all that.
yeah,
But what happened was he was just getting a bit of the numbers on social media, but
yeah,
that wasn't also adding up to the purpose. He was like, what he wanted was to push his brand and help people sort of navigate, like, learn these skills and maybe gain employment and stuff like that.
yeah.
So for him, the skills were just a distraction, but they were not helping him achieve his purpose. So and he had to stop doing the skits now
Mhm.
and focus on now building the brand. How did he want people to perceive him,
Yeah.
or his brand, and where did he want to see that go? And right now he's actually a big shot. Like people, when you hear his name, you associate him with that specific thing.
Oh, that's fantastic. What's his name?
He's called Elvis.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'll check him out.
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how can somebody connect purpose to service? Like, for example, for you, you've connected your purpose to serving people. How can people connect purpose to serving, whether it's people or whatever they want to serve?
Honestly, I feel that connecting purpose to service is just
Mm-hmm.
natural. It's very,
Mm.
very natural in the sense, for me, I feel like inherent in purpose is service.
Mm-hmm. Ah. Oh,
That is
that's
how I
like the
look at it.
bottom line. Uh huh.
Yeah. Like, because
Okay.
think about so many people
Mm-hmm.
that have found their purpose. You will notice
Mm-hmm.
most of
Mm-hmm.
them, most of
Mm-hmm.
them connect it to service.
Mm-hmm.
At least, like, I don't know, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whether whether it is building, for example, the skills
Mm-hmm.
of people, the goal is
Mm-hmm.
that it ends up
Mhm.
being a form of maybe these people serving others or something like that. Whether it
Mhm.
being building maybe a product, the goal is that whatever that product is would be able to
Mhm.
satisfy the needs of people.
Yeah.
Service.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so I feel like inherent in purpose
Mhm.
is service.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. And also, I think it still goes back to what you had said earlier on,
yeah.
like when you're trying to find your purpose, like what is that thing you see is maybe going wrong somewhere,
Hmm,
and you feel
hmm.
like it shouldn't be working like that. You feel like that need of finding a solution for it. So, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting.
Because I,
Okay.
I feel like
Mm-hmm.
you're, unless God forbid you
Uh-huh.
your purpose is really anti-human, I really
Mm-hmm.
see that whatever the purpose is would in one way or
Mm-hmm.
the other help make
Mm-hmm.
human life better.
That's true. I agree with you, honestly.
Yeah, unless you're, yeah, anti-human.
Uh-huh. Wow. Hmm. You've really said interesting things. Like you've already touched on your purpose specifically as Patrick. You've also talked about like how people can find their purpose, which includes them reflecting on like the things that interest them,
Yeah,
maybe like their passions,
yeah,
overcoming self doubt,
yeah,
accepting that sometimes your purpose can change or evolve,
yeah.
and all these amazing things. Wow, that's really interesting. So, what would be the key takeaway that you would want anybody listening to this episode or watching us to take away from this conversation? And I'm really glad that you actually found your purpose and you're pursuing it honestly, diligently. And people should actually also, before you answer, they should check out jobs to apply if they are looking for non-profit opportunities, and also there is fellowships and grants and all these amazing things over there. Yeah, and also the ones who need like services like a website designed for them, they should check one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think we'll put them on the link on the description, especially on our YouTube channel, so that people
yes.
can check that out. But so what would be like the one thing that you, or a few things that you want people to take from this discussion today?
Honestly, I think it would be
Mm-hmm.
for people to stay open,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
stay curious,
Mm-hmm.
and keep growing. Because purpose
Mm-hmm.
isn't about finding the perfect answer or
Okay.
finding all the answers. I
Mm-hmm.
think for me, it's about learning. It's about
Mm-hmm.
trying and failing and learning and
Mm.
failing and learning like that.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
through that experience, growing every
Mhm.
single day.
Mhm.
I think for me, that is like something so important. And maybe
Mhm.
another thing is for someone to understand that
Mhm.
no purpose is too small
Mm.
or one is more value than the others. Purpose is
The other,
purpose.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, if what you do helps even one person, it matters
Mhm.
and it is worth doing
Yes.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So for me, I would think that really it's basically for people to keep, doing that. And if if you feel like you've lost your purpose, although
Mhm.
I do not want to use that word, if you have
Yeah.
found a new path, your
Mhm.
purpose appear to have evolved, I
Mhm.
think, you know, take one small step forward, and find
Mhm.
another way. Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be it for me. Like, honestly, yeah. But I think most important.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I feel that no matter where you are in life, your
Mm-hmm.
purpose keeps unfolding,
Mm-hmm.
it keeps changing, it keeps evolving.
Mm-hmm.
It grows as you grow. So keep
Mm-hmm.
growing, keep learning,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, never stop believing that
Mm-hmm.
your
Mm-hmm.
impact matters or what you do matters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
important.
that's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be it.
Wow. Damn. Okay, interesting. Wow, no purpose is too small, ladies and gentlemen. And whatever it is that ignites your heart on fire, pursue it diligently and make a difference in your big or small way, whichever it works. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us, Patrick, and
You're
for
welcome.
giving us a very thought provoking conversation and your insights into the topic, and also sharing your personal experience with finding your purpose. You're doing amazing, and I'm proud of you. And people should also, by the way, in terms of purpose, you should also go listen to his other episode on quitting his family business and starting a non-profit, which is part of his purpose. It's a very, very interesting conversation that I'm sure will inspire you and spark some interest in you to take action and pursue your dreams and make an impact in your community or even in your own personal life, honestly. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in, for following us on all our social media platforms, and for engaging with us. If this episode sparked something in you, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs a little inspiration. Also, follow us on all our social media platforms at the Spark It Podcast. See you next time on
The
the Spark
Spark
It
It
Podcast.
Podcast.